best purchases versus some of my regrets.
And I'll drink to that.
Do you see how that worked out for me? Come on, wanna do it, wanna do it? Yes, you will. Not me blowing off the desk. When's the last time I wore these, child? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the YSL Blaze cat eye frames. I know I'm not a quiet luxury girl. You have seen her 1,000 times, and I could have spent $5,255 here in the ghetto US, but instead, I only spent $3,728. When I want something, baby, I'ma get it. I like wearing pieces that are versatile. It pains me to say that this is in the regret section. Okay, not well, hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel. If you're here for the first time, my name is ShayNicole and I am a millennial mother, okay? And I love making videos to help elevate your confidence in style and self-care. And I also be dropping gems from time to time for my current and aspiring content creators. I'm so glad you're here. Before we get into today's best purchases versus some of my regrets, I have to take a moment for this quick weave, honey. Girl, get into it. She is here, she has arrived, and I don't know if she'll ever go back to a sew-in. I can't believe it took me 35 years, child, to try a quick weave. That is crazy. But I see where the hype is, honey. I see why the girls are loving a quick weave. Not only is it half the time and definitely a discount the price of a sew-in, all right? You're gonna save some time and save some coin, but it just is. I feel like there's more volume here. I feel like the way that you can lay the tracks on a quick weave gives like more flat, you know, and also seamless, just fuller. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just new to the game and I'm just having a moment because I've never done this before, but I really love it. Now, it's only been a few days, all right? I know they say that it starts itching. You're gonna be trying to pat it because you can't scratch with your nail or a comb, honey, because it's stacked up in here in this cap. So I don't know how long I'm gonna keep this in. I guesstimate maybe 14 days. Like, I don't even keep a sew-in longer than 3 or 4 weeks. I've just never been that girl to keep a hairstyle in long. I think the most I've ever kept in long was like stitch braids, or I have had knotless braids in for like over a month, but normally I'm a 3 to 4 week girl. I can't help it. I don't know, I've just always been like that. Even before I was a content creator, before I was an influencer doing all these things, I don't know, I like to switch my hair up a lot. So we'll see how long this quick weave lasts, but shout out to my girl Hair Tees, my girl Tiara. Thank you so much for getting me together. I love the layers, I love the look. And oh girl, if you are trying to get these voluminous curls, make sure you use those satin rods. I'll link them for you, but I know you know what I'm talking about. You've been seeing them everywhere. I only had to use 4 for this style. I put 1 in the front. Actually, no, I used 5. 1 in the front here, 2, 3, 1 in this top center, 4, yeah, and then 1 in the bottom back. That's 5. But girl, I just did that overnight, and let me tell you, it is now 7 o'clock, 7:13 to be exact, and I took these out at 7 in the morning. So we're talking about a full 12-hour day, and it still gives. Of course, the curls have dropped a little bit, but it still looks good, honey. Like, this is amazing. So anyway, today is not about hair. I just had to shout out my girl T for getting me together, and I had to shout out the quick weave girlies because y'all don't gatekeep, all right? I be seeing it. I be seeing it online. The girls will always champion a quick weave, but I don't know, I was being stubborn. I saw so many horror stories about people having glue on their hair, child. I was like, I don't know if I can try that, but apparently it's all about the application. If you can find you a good stylist that knows what they're doing, allegedly it's gonna peel right off in the shower. So I'll report back on that because I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, let's get into today's video because I, for one, understand that the economy is crazy. I get that we have a lot of things on our luxury wish list, but some things we're like, can we really justify this purchase? Will we really get our cost per wear? And sometimes you're just really not feeling it. You're like, you know what? I need to know the truth. Like, is this thing just for the hype, the trend, or is this something that I'm really gonna wear and it's gonna last me a long time? Is it gonna be a timeless piece in my closet, or am I gonna get tired of it? So that is why I wanted to make this video, because I love watching the girlies talk about their purchases that they love versus the purchases that they regret. And I will say this, I don't necessarily have a purchase that I regret, but there are a few purchases that I could kind of live without versus my purchases that I know I love down and I will probably never sell. Because just in case you're new here, I am in the business of reselling. That's how I started my brand. I've always been a reseller of things, not even just luxury items. Like, girl, my whole closet, I'd be selling stuff over on Poshmark. So there are a couple of pieces I'm gonna show you today that I will probably never get rid of, but hey, never say never, right?
And I'll drink to that.
Baby, ever since I did that Grand Marnier partnership, child, and if you know me, you know I'm not really a big drinker like that. I'm a social drinker. But ever since I did that partnership over on Instagram, and I figured out how to make a Grand Margarita because that was the part of the campaign. Well, that was the campaign. I had to learn how to make it on camera. I shot that, girl. I filmed that thing and I was like, you know what? I think I like this. So I have been treating myself, you know, every other Friday to a little margarita, and I'm not mad at it, okay? Well, it's not a little margarita, it's a Grand Margarita. And this ain't no ad. I mean, the ad is over on Instagram, they already paid me. But I just gotta shout out Grand Marnier because that is a very tasty margarita. And again, I'm not even a big drinker, but girl, that's a good one right there. All right, so where should we begin? Should we begin with jewelry, glasses, let's talk about glasses, sunglasses, because I feel like that is a more attainable luxury item that is not so far out of the budget. You know, usually you can find a way to get you a little luxury shade. And I also have some sites that I like to use where I get my discounted luxury shades. I'll make sure I tag them for you. So let's start with my very first purchase that I'm not gonna call it a regret. I'm gonna say I ain't have to have it, okay? It's something that I love, something that has a lot of meaning to me. It's gonna be a lot of nostalgia with this one, but it's something that I don't know if I'm gonna sell it. I think I'm gonna keep it just for the memories, but now that it's been a couple years, I didn't have to have it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the YSL Blaze cat eye frames.
Oh my gosh, I feel so bad for even saying this
because again, y'all, it's not a regret. Hear me out. But I didn't necessarily have to have them. Okay, let me take that back. I did have to have them. Backstory, you know I love a little backstory. I always gotta give you a little context. So, I was in Italy when I got these, okay? Jeremiah and I went for our, was that 3-year? Yes, our 3-year anniversary. We did a little Italy tour. We went to Florence, Positano, Rome, Lake Como. We were just all around Italy for 2 weeks, right? And when I saw these, I knew they had to come home with me because for one, I had already seen them on some of, you know, the fashion girlies that I love and look up to. I seen them, in the, you know, back home in the US. I'm like, oh, those are cute. And then I saw the price and I was like, absolutely not. I'm not paying all that money. Okay, girl, so right now, these retail for $960, which is crazy because I thought they would be a little bit more. When I got them in 2023, in the summer we were in Italy, they were also $960 online. But look at this TikTok that I made 2 years ago explaining the process of how I got them, how I got my refund for the taxes, and then ultimately how much I paid in euros versus US dollars. So how much did I save from buying these shades in Europe? Here's the breakdown. At home, these shades are $960, and after taxes, I would have paid $1,029.60 because I live in Texas and y'all know the sales tax is high. But in Italy, I only paid 695 euros, and of course, I got my VAT refund of 83 euros. So when you factor in the refund, I actually paid 611 euros for the shades. And after we convert that amount to US dollars, I paid a total of $659.77. And when you subtract that from what I would have paid from buying them at home, I saved a total of $369.83 from buying them in Italy. This is your sign to wait until your next vacation to buy your luxury items. As you can see, it's worth the wait. So I'm gonna get into why I could have passed on these now that it's been 2 years, but first I wanna say why I actually don't regret getting them, because if I ever want to sell them, I feel like I won't for a very long time because they have so much sentimental value to me because of that anniversary trip. But if I were to sell them, I feel like I not only have gotten my cost per wear, but I could definitely get my coins back. Not $960, because obviously on the resale market, you're not gonna get exactly what you would have paid. But the fact that I did not even pay that resale price is already a win for me. I could probably break even or make a little bit of a profit depending on what avenue I chose to sell it on, whether I sell it on my personal Poshmark or on like a Fashion File, Rebag, you know, one of the resale sites. So thinking about the video I just showed you from TikTok, when I explained the VAT refund, if you're not familiar, this is a sales incentive for tourists to shop overseas. And in Europe specifically, you get this refund where you get the taxes back on any of the purchases that you make over, I think it's over like $75 if I'm not mistaken. Well, that's what it was 2 years ago. I don't know what it is now, but I want to say $75, $80. You'll get taxes back from it. So in the store, you will pay the taxes just like you would if you were shopping, you know, regular in the US. Like let's say you go buy something from Zara, you pay the taxes, but the difference is when you get to the airport, you get those taxes back as long as you show your passport to show proof that you are not a citizen of that country. Now keep in mind, this is a great incentive to shop overseas, and I love buying my luxury designer items overseas for this reason, especially when I am in Europe, because things are significantly significantly cheaper there because things are made in Europe. A lot of these bags from these designer houses are made in Italy, made in France. So the textile is going to be cheaper. You're not paying for the import tax and all these other fees. You know, we don't make really much in the US, honey, and that's a different story for a different day. We don't have a lot of resources here. So when it comes to these designer leather goods, that's why so many people just wait until they take their Euro vacation, you know, their summer trips, to buy them overseas. So being that I spent less than $600 on these, I feel like it was a great deal, and that is the reason I've held on to them, on top of the fact that I do have sentimental value. Now let me explain why I feel like I could have passed in retrospect, thinking of my cost per wear. I have worn them, don't get me wrong, I have, but I tend to only like to wear them when I know y'all know I'm not a quiet luxury girl. I love for the logo to show when I know you're gonna see that logo. So if it's a day like this, I'm not gonna wear them because my hair is covering them, and I just feel like when you look at them, they just look like regular big black ass glasses. But if I had my bob or my ear tucked, like, you know, on the side, I tuck a half of my bob behind my ear, or if I had a slick back bun, then you could see that logo and you could know, okay, she's a Saint Laurent girl. So call me crazy, I know, call me crazy, but I just feel like if I'm gonna buy something with a statement logo like this, then honey, you need to see it. I'm not a quiet luxury girl, y'all know that about me, okay? I'm just not. So that is why I'm like, I just haven't worn them as much as I should have or could have. Again, I feel like I got my cost per wear because I've worn them a significant amount of time since I got them in 2023. But I cut my bob the end of that year. Was it end of 2023? Yes, I cut my bob December of 2023. So before I cut my hair, honey, I was definitely wearing these a lot, all right? I was doing my updos, my slick back ponytails. You could see that logo. But then once I cut my hair into a bob, you just couldn't see it as much, you know? They just look like regular black glasses. Nothing wrong with that. But baby, I wanted you to see the side. I wanted you to get into the drama of it all. So that is why I feel like for 2024, I didn't wear them as much because you couldn't really see the logo. And then when I did take a break from my bob, if I had braids or something, I would definitely wear them. But if I had a sew-in, I wouldn't. So honestly speaking, if I had to do it all over again, I probably still would have bought them because, again, they were a steal. The fact that I would have paid $1,100 here in the US, absolutely not, versus less than $600 in Italy. So I'm not gonna say it's a regret, but I just feel like I didn't get a lot of wear out of them because of the hairstyle that I chose shortly after. Again, we went to Italy in August of 2023. I cut my hair for my birthday, so that was that December of 2023. So I had a good 4 or 5 months, a good run with these. And since then, I probably wear them maybe once a month, if that. They kind of just sit on my shelf. I feel like there's a little dust on there. It's just been sitting, but they're just so beautiful to look at. And again, they're just a memento. They have a lot of sentimental value. So needless to say, I don't think I'll be selling them anytime soon, but if I do, you would see them over on my Poshmark 9 times out of 10. And I feel like they just have a great background story to them. So it's a conversation starter. What can I say? I'm gonna keep them for a little bit longer. All right, so since we started off with something that I didn't really have to have, I need to now show you something that I had to have, baby. And to this day, this remains a staple in my closet. You have seen her 1,000 times, and in case you are new here, welcome to the Icare Maxi Tote Party. Baby, I can never, ever, 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 ever get enough of this damn bag. I am telling you right now, it is my most used bag when it comes to travel. Now, the reason that I do not call it an everyday bag, okay, because I know the girl is like, well, why can't you wear it every day? To me, this is entirely too big to be walking around with every day. Not only is it too big for my day-to-day errands, but it got some weight on it, okay? That lambskin, it's got some weight. Don't sleep on the lambskin. And I even feel like the emblem here, this solid, you hear that? This brass solid emblem, baby, that's some weight to it, all right? So I tend to use this as my travel bag, the perfect airport bag. It is just a staple in my closet. I love it. And I also got it in Italy. That's another reason it has so much sentimental value to me, okay? Just like the shades. But I actually wear this 1,000 times more than the shades, okay? So this is an absolute heck yes. No regrets. I've gotten my cost per wear 1,000 times over. I love this bag so much. She is my girl. And look at this video real quick just so I can explain the price breakdown. Here's why I waited till I was in Europe to buy this. So I've had my eye on this Saint Laurent bag for a while, but it retails for $4,900 in the US. Also, I live in Texas and we have really high sales tax, so the bag would have been $5,255.25 had I purchased it at home. Instead, I waited until I got to Italy, where not only are the prices lower, but they encourage tourists to shop by offering you money back with a VAT refund. Let me know in the comments if you want a separate video on that process. So in Italy, this bag cost me 3,900 euros, but I received a VAT refund of 468 euros. Now remember, the conversion rate to the US dollar fluctuates often, but this was the rate at the very moment of my purchase. In US dollars, I spent $3,728.51 since the euro is worth more right now. And once again, I would have spent $5,255.25 if I would have bought it at home. So I saved a total of $1,526.74. For me personally, I say it was definitely worth the wait, since the money I saved is equivalent to purchasing a flight. Now, will it be worth it for you? That depends on the cost of the item you want to buy and if you plan on visiting Europe in the near future. Okay, girl, now do you understand why I love this bag so much? Not only because it's a gorgeous bag, but the fact that I went to Italy and I could have spent $5,255 here in the ghetto US, but instead I only spent $3,728. Do you see how that worked out for me? Come on, want to do it? Want to do it? Yes, you will. Y'all, this was a steal. And child, I just found out, baby, they didn't drop it in another color.
Oh my gosh.
Now, hold on, before I get to that color, let me tell you, I saw it in the cream, like bone off-white color while I was in Italy, and I just really wasn't feeling it. To me, it didn't look like that crisp, neutral, clean type of cream color. It gave a little dingy, if you ask me. I don't know, it was something about it. The color just didn't really speak to me. So that's why I chose the black one, because I felt like it just looks so clean, it looks very elegant. And I was hoping they would come out with it in different colors, but it's been a long time, honey. We got it in 2023. Since then, they have made it in that rattan material. Did I say that right? Rattan? Let me look it up. Oh, rattan. Is it rattan or rattan? I always get that mixed up. But you know, I always say the Tulum material because everything in Tulum is that material. But yeah, they have that beach bag rattan type of material, which is cute, but just not practical for a year-round thing. Like, I don't want to wear rattan year-round, so I didn't get that one. I didn't like the cream one because it looked a little dingy. And since then, I have not seen it until recently. Girl, they didn't drop it in this ox blood, this deep Merlot. It's called Napa. It's called Napa Rouge. But honey, I call it ox blood, okay? They dropped it in this color, and y'all, I am plotting already. I don't have a Euro trip coming up in my near future, but I'm gonna find somebody that's going to Europe, honey. Matter of fact, if you're going to Europe in the near future, go ahead and drop a comment, let me know. Because girl, I have got to have this bag. I already am obsessed with it in black, so I know I'm gonna wear that ox blood out, especially because fall and winter is coming. Now, that deep Merlot Rouge color is a year-round, yes, for me, but there is something about wearing it in the fall and the winter with a good matching lipstick. Oh, girl, a little deep burgundy lipstick. Yes, ma'am. Don't be surprised if you see me rolling up with that bag in an airport near you. I'm just saying, because when it comes to me, when I want something, baby, I'ma get it. Now, I will say my only complaint, and I have definitely said this a couple of times over on my short form content on TikTok and Instagram when I gave reviews on the bag. My only complaint is that for the price we paid, they could have gave us a little something extra rather than this pouch inside with no type of logo, no type of nothing. The only thing that was the saving grace, when you look at it here real close, it does say Saint Laurent here on the hardware, but I just feel like for a $5,000 bag, I mean, I didn't pay that, but still, it retails for $5,000 in the US. Y'all could have gave us a little something. Y'all could have made this logo here, okay? This brass hardware piece, y'all could have put it right here. But you know what? I think they didn't do it like that because they didn't want to give a 2-for-1 special with the bag, because it was like buy one, get one. I don't think they wanted to do that because they know how we do, baby. If they would have put that logo right here, this would have been a clutch. Okay, tell me it wouldn't have been a clutch. Tell me if you would have had this logo right here, okay? Tell me you wouldn't have used this as a clutch. I sure would have. But instead, they made it very plain. It gives like pencil pouch. Like first day of school, I got my little pencil pouch, school supplies. That's what it gives. But hey, I still use it, you know. I'm not gonna complain too much. But that would be my only, you know, only reason I don't give it a 10 out of 10. I will give it a 9.5 out of 10. Just because I feel like they played us with this. But other than that, I love it so much. I love the chain detail. You can close it to make it a little bit smaller if you don't have a lot of things in it. It folds just like the LV Never Full bag, how you can, you know, enclose the sides like this, so you can make it smaller. Now some girls do like to wear it like this, and this to me makes it more practical where it can be an everyday bag if you make it smaller. But you know, usually it is for me at least, a big body Benz, honey, is wide. She's wide. So that's why I just feel like it takes up a lot of space. I'm not gonna wear this day to day. And then on the inside, it also has a zipper pocket here, if you can see that. So it's definitely spacious. I put my whole life in here, baby. My laptop, all my little toiletry bags, my iPad, my chargers, my equipment. Girl, I be putting my tripod in here. When I travel, when I'm on the go, baby, this is the yes bag for me. So I will never get tired of showing off this bag, and stay tuned because I'm gonna get that red one. That oxblood is gonna be in my closet. Okay, girl, looks like we got a bit of a pattern here. Let's flip-flop between the things that I kind of sort of regret versus the things that I love. So being that I love that bag, let's head on over to something that I'm not that fond of. Okay, I am fond of these. Oh, Lord, not the dust. Not me blowing off the dust. When's the last time I wore these, child? Okay, let's get into it. So I'm very fond of these, all right? First, let me put them on for you to see, all right? These are the Tom Ford. I forgot the style number for them, but they're Tom Ford shades. And I want to explain why I got them, why I love them, why I thought I needed them in my closet. So for one, I'm a big fan of a big pair of shades. That's just always going to be me. I feel like I have a lot of space on my face. You know, some people have like little tiny faces. No, I don't have a huge face, but I have a big enough face that I felt like I could, you know, carry. Like the glasses wouldn't carry me. I felt like I could carry these. But honey, when I finally got them, after wanting them for so long, I realized the people that I was seeing wearing them, the symmetry was a little different from mine. I feel like their face just carried it a little better than me. I feel like with these, they're kind of swallowing me up. Have you ever been swallowed up? That's what these give, honey. And although I do still love them, I love that they give that biker moto look, you know, like a motorcycle helmet. I love that about them. I feel like because they are like this yellowy tint, like yellowish orangish tint, and I think about my skin complexion, it doesn't complement me and my face as well as I thought it would. But I saw them on a lot of different people, and I realized they just look better on others than me. And I could be tripping. I don't know. Let me know in the comments how you feel. But I don't know. I feel like if they were a little bit more like the lens I'm speaking of, if the lens was a little bit on the brown side, like I do like a good brown lens, a flesh tone lens. Like I always wear my Saint Laurent clear lenses. Oh my god, I love those down because they have more of like a nude flesh tone lens for me, and they just go with everything. I feel like with these, it kind of depends on the outfit that I have on, the hairstyle. I feel like with these glasses, there's just a lot of different factors involved on when they can look really nice. But that's why I just love my YSL shades, which I'm going to show you next, because they just go with anything, any hairstyle, anytime, any place. But anyway, back to these. So the Tom Ford shades, again, I love them down, but I don't wear them as much. I wouldn't call it a regret. I just don't get a lot of wear out of them simply because of that. The lens, I feel like it doesn't really look the best on my skin tone, the color of the lens, and the shape, I feel like it kind of, I don't know, it kind of just takes over my face. But if they were a more clear lens, a more nude lens, maybe I wouldn't mind that they take up that much space. Now, you may think that sounds crazy because I literally just said I like the biker helmet look of them, like the moto style. But I don't know, I just have seen them so many times on other girlies. I was like, oh, I had to have them. But that is just a lesson, honey. When it comes to luxury and designer shopping, sometimes you need to go into the store if you can. I couldn't with these. To my knowledge, they don't make these in store anymore. I actually got them, and I'll make sure I link whatever I can for y'all over on LTK so that you can shop them, whether they're secondhand or in a discount store. I got these off of either Farfetch or, no, I got them on Satire. Yeah, I got these on Satire. So I got them at a discount rate, which is awesome. Most of the things I'm gonna show you I did not pay retail for, so kudos to me for that. But if I were able to try these on, or at least a similar pair in store, I would have, but I couldn't. So I just went off of what I saw, and I just love how they looked on everybody else. Now, again, they're not bad. I mean, even with like my hair now, I feel like it looks really good, especially because of like the voluminous curls. Sorry, I'm looking over here because my camera has the mirrorless part of it where I can see. So I do like the ratio of like face to forehead to cheek to curls. I feel like it balances, but normally I have my bob or my hair is pulled back and I don't have it in a weave. So with that being said, usually the glasses kind of overpower my face, but I feel like right now it's okay because it balances out with the hair. But again, y'all, I'm not gonna call it a regret, but you can tell from the dust on these, honey. I do not wear them as much as I could, but hey, maybe this is my sign and my inspiration to start wearing some more of my pieces, because what could I say? I'm a collector. Sometimes I just do stuff for the plot. I do stuff, you know, for the collection of it all, just so I can have some good pieces to look at in my closet, on my shelves. But I feel like maybe with this quick weave, you know, with the bundles in, I can get a little bit more of a wear out of these. But let me know what you think in the comments. Should I be wearing these more? I don't know. I like them. I like them a lot. And I do think they have them right now in stock in black with a different color lens. So anyway, like I said, I'll link whatever I can find for y'all over on LTK. Now, when it comes to a pair of shades that I'm going to wear out, honey, and I mean wear them down, this is what I'm talking about. These Saint Laurent shades, I cannot get enough of, y'all. These are the ones I was just telling you about, my everyday ones. They go with everything. Look at the lens. Do you see the lens? Remember how I said with the Tom Fords, I feel like the lens didn't really complement my skin tone, but these lenses right here, girl, these lenses get the job done. Chef's kiss. I love them so much. They give you that neutral. It's almost like I have on like prescription glasses, like in the daytime, like not right now because it's kind of dark in here, but in the daytime when you see them, the lens can kind of look a little bit clear, but I love how they are a perfect transition from day to night, honey, because if you can see, the lenses give a little bit of a brown tint to them. Girl, it just really depends on the lighting. Like sometimes they look a little bit clear, sometimes they look a little bit tinted, but either way it goes, I wear these shades literally every single day. Like I cannot get enough of them. I love them. Remember, I like wearing pieces that are versatile. So the fact that I can transition these to bright early in the morning, all the way through the nighttime, these are the perfect glasses for me. I love the shape of them. I love the aviator style with the bar going across. I also had them in black, but I am so mad. I just thought about that, y'all. Oh my God, I'm so mad. I never got them back from when I left them in Virginia. Remember, if you were following me last year, I posted all that homecoming content, honey. I went to my homecoming, shout out to my HBCU, and I was out there with my line sisters, and we had a brunch at one of my line sisters' houses, and I left them there. And child, she ended up moving. I don't know if they just got lost from the move or what, but she ain't find them. But I know they was in that house. I hope nobody took them. I mean, none of my line sisters would have, but I know there was just a lot of people in and out, like outside of just us. So, girl, I don't know if they ended up somewhere underneath a dresser or something, or a bed or a table. Somebody picked them up. I don't know what happened to them shades, girl, but I am pissed because the black ones ate down. But that's okay, because I'm gonna link these for you and the black ones, and if I see the black ones are in stock, I'm gonna order them, so you'll see me with them again soon. But either way it goes, honey, whether you get the black pair or these pair, I personally would recommend these pair only because I feel like they go with literally everything, because they are clear. That transparent frame, girl, like get into it. Ugh, these girl, and for a pair of Saint Laurent glasses, in my personal opinion, all right, I feel like they're reasonably priced. Maybe not on, let me see if they're even on the Saint Laurent website. I don't think that they are. No, they're not in stock. Okay, but for the resale value that I saw and seeing them on like Farfetch and Satire and some other sites, I feel like they're not bad. I think I paid like $290 for them, but that was like 2 years ago. So by now I think they're like around $320, $330, but it hasn't gone up that much. You know, usually inflation, it makes the price go up, but not by much. So I would still say yes. If you can catch these, again, I'm gonna tag them for you, but if you can catch these on a good deal in your budget, I highly recommend you get them. I get so many compliments every time I post these, honey. People are always like, oh, where you get them from? You get them from? Honey, these are Saint Laurent. I love me a good pair of YSL shades. And the fact that they are transparent like this, they go with everything. 12 out of 10 recommend. This is probably my most used. Let me see, I'm looking around all this stuff. Yes, this is my most used item that I'm going to show you in this video. I kid you not, you can go down my page, all over my Instagram, TikTok. I be wearing these down. If you see me out in person, I probably have these on. This is my most used pair, and I have most definitely gotten my cost per wear. All right, I think this is the last pair of glasses I have to show you. Yes. Sorry, I had like brought everything down from my closet. Yeah, everything else is just bags and jewelry. This is the last pair of glasses, and you know, it pains me to say that this is in the regret section. Okay, not the regret, but the I really have to have it. But when I saw them, y'all, I just knew that I was gonna get my nostalgia kick. I knew I was gonna get my millennial dreams off. Honey, these were giving me so so much nostalgia when I saw them when they first dropped. I just had to have them. These are the Miu Miu shades. I'm sure you've seen them. They come in, I think, 3 or 4 different colorways. Let me give you a close-up of the size. Maybe you recognize them. Have you seen these before? Let me know. To me, they were everything that an elder millennial could dream of. Like when I first saw them, I had to have them because I felt like they reminded me of all the early 2000s videos that we love. Remember the Vixen girls? They always had a good pair of the frameless shades. Just the lens, okay, no frame, with a little bit of rhinestone on the side. I know you remember that. Let me know in the comments if you're from that ilk, you're from that era. You baby, you were cut from a different cloth. That was a time to be alive. The early 2000s music video vixens, okay? They always had a good pair of shades like this. The only difference is usually it would be like a little, maybe a little rhinestone piece, a little cherry right here, like on the front, a little Chanel logo, or on the side. But either way, when I saw them, I was like, yes, I have to have them. Now, I first was gonna get them when we were in Colombia, but when I did the conversion, I wasn't saving that much money. So I was like, I don't need it, I'll wait. And I ended up getting them during New York Fashion Week last year, September 2024. And when I got there, I tried them on in the other, well, I think there's 4 different lens shades. This is more of like the brown one, but I think I tried them on in like the rose pink one, which is a little bit lighter. I was gonna get that, but then I just felt like at the time this was going with so much more of my outfits. It was fall going into winter. And I don't know, y'all, I really thought I would get more wear out of these. Again, maybe this vlog happened for a reason. Sorry, my quick weave cap is a little low where it's kind of hard to put my shades on. So I keep like knocking into it, but I just thought that I would wear them more, but maybe this is my sign to break out some of these gems in my closet, because now that I'm looking, you know, these do eat down. I really do like them. But for me personally, I like a good pair of sturdy shades. Like even the YSL ones that I showed you, the clear ones and the black ones, even the Tom Ford ones, I feel like those are very heavy duty. And with the Miu Miu shades, my biggest complaint, it's not the style, it's not the look, because they're definitely giving me that elder millennial nostalgia, but it's more so the quality. I just feel like they're a little bit flimsy, and that could be because they are just, you know, the wire-based frames, well, the frameless lenses and the wire. Maybe that's just how they're made. All the other shades I just showed you, you know, they have that heavy acetate, that very hard plastic, that good quality acrylic glasses, because it's a frame. And maybe because these are frameless and it's literally just the shades with the you know, the wiring on the side, maybe that's why they just feel so, I don't know, flimsy. But I just, girl, when I was in the store and I tried them on, I kind of felt like, well, damn, are these fake? Like, did somebody dupe it? You know, get it on what's the site's called, DHgate or something like that. I think that's what's called, right? Yeah, DHgate and what's the other one? AliExpress, Alibaba. Did somebody buy the shades on one of them dupe sites or the replica sites and then return them? Because the way these felt, I just couldn't believe it. I was up in that store like, you know, why would somebody pay all that money and these feel like my toddler's glasses? But that's when I remembered, you know, a lot of these designer items don't be the best quality. So what can I say? It was New York Fashion Week, honey. I had just came from the Loewe store and got me them Loewe jeans that I love so much. Oh, I should have brought those down here. I'll save those for the next one. I'll do a part 2. But anyway, you know, I was just on a high, just being out there. Oh, it's my first New York Fashion Week. I want to commemorate it. I'm a commemorator, girl. Let me know in the comments. Are you a commemorator? Let me know in the comments. Do you like to commemorate when something special and exciting is happening? When you are traveling, when you have something to celebrate, do you like to buy a little memento? Because that's how I am. That's why I have so many things with like a lot of sentimental value. But anyway, that is one of the main driving forces to me getting these. Number one, yes, the design of it all. I love that, you know, millennial, early 2000s feel of these. But number 2, it was sentimental value because now I can say, oh my God, I got these at the Miu Miu store in NYC during my first New York Fashion Week. Like, you know, to me that is just a memorable story. That's a conversation starter. But I said all that to say, because that they're just kind of like flimsy and I don't know, I just haven't worn them. I feel like I should have. But again, y'all, maybe this is a sign for me to break out these pieces in my closet. Let me know in the comments how you feel about these. I love the sides, okay? She's a Miu Miu girl. But overall, I would give them, for the look, 8.5 out of 10. Because they just look so good. But for the feel and the quality, baby, is giving a 5.5 out of 10. Because what? Like, I really feel like I could break these. And I'm not going to, but I feel like I have to be very careful with them. I don't like that. Like, I take care of my things, you know? I'm very gentle. but I want to know if I drop them or, you know, accidentally smush them, God forbid, I want to know that it's gonna last. And honey, I don't think that these would last. In my personal humble opinion, you will not be disappointed and you will definitely get your cost per wear. Trust me on that. Yes, ma'am. Talk about a classic bag. This is my go-to mommy bag. It's business in the front, party in the back.